gap year. Think about it. A lot of Gen Zers, they realize the working world is not for them. And they're 29, 30 years old, and they're like, you know what? I think I'm going to retire from my job. And they move back in with their parents, and they take a year, and they figure out what it is they really want to do. Now, for those of us who have been ingrained with working to the bone until we're 65 or 70 since we were 18, I mean, that, again, seems preposterous. But you got to consider it from their point of view, having grown up watching you be grumpy about work for 35 years, and they realize it's kind of like the Wonder Years. You know, you don't want to grow up and be Kevin's dad, right? But Kevin's dad, as you get older, that's the character you identify with the most out of the Wonder Years. Where would you live? What would you do? 207-324-1220. These answers are fantastic. We got a 283 said California. I got a Bahamas. I'd live in a coconut tree. Okay, so that seems unrealistic, but still, whatever. We're just dreaming here, because you got to live your dream. Because sometimes, and a lot of times, what you think at 18, 20 isn't what you think at 45, 50 years old. And you're caught in the cycle of life. Growing up, you've been told that, you got to go to college and you got to learn this trade or whatever it is. And this is what you're going to do. And you were excited about it. But you didn't really get a chance to think about it, because let's take every other part of your life. Let's just take work, throw it out. Every other part of your life. When you were 18, do you think exactly the way that you did when you were 18? The answer is no. You change your mind over time. It's just that with work, we're so ingrained to be channeled into that part that can't change whatsoever. So then when a generation comes up, and I'm siding with the Gen Zers on this one, that you realize, hey, I was put into this funnel and this vacuum for 25, 30 years, and now I don't want it. I want to go do something else. I get one shot at this, and I don't want to be unhappy. And I have the means to do it, and that's the key. You got to have the means to do it. Kurt checked in and says, what if you're self-employed? I'm like, well, couldn't you just pick up shop and then, do that job somewhere else for a year? I don't know. It would take a lot of work. I get it. I'm not saying it's very easy. I'm just saying people are doing it. But at some point, I think we all have this conversation with ourselves of you have to do what makes you happy, because what served you 10, 15 years ago doesn't serve you anymore. And autobiographically, that's a lot of why I'm doing this particular thing, I've turned down some really decent opportunities in the past to do what I'm doing today. And that doesn't mean just broadcasting. I mean, broadcasting in the town that I grew up with and working with people to give them opportunities that, really springboarded me to do the things that I wanted to do, like the Circle of Life stuff. I love it. I love every single day that I'm doing this. My worst day here is still better than, I wouldn't say the best day other places. That's too much of that's just not true, because I've had some really great opportunities. But to be able to reinvest in this community, I bleed Sanford and I love it. So this is what I want to do. On paper, doesn't make sense whatsoever, but it's just cool to be part of the ownership of it and reigniting, this community in our small little part. I was doing, I wouldn't say soulless work, but it was definitely not soul work. That makes any sense. So I can completely agree with the Gen Zers who at 30 years old said, you know what? This isn't for me anymore. I'm going to take a year and I'm going to figure it out. And hopefully within that year, they can figure out what it is they want to do and spend the rest of their lives, a little bit happier than they were if they were doing a job for 45 years that they didn't want. And isn't that why you raise kids to begin with? Isn't that why you wanted to give them the opportunity to live their dreams? And if what the dream they're living isn't the dream anymore, let them change the dream. Let them figure it out. Don't you want your kids to be happy? Okay, now we're going down a road I could spend an hour on, but I'm not going to. The gap year. Good stuff at 324-1220. I really appreciated the answers for this one. I didn't realize how hard it hit home until I was in the middle of that last little thought. But that's that's the bond that you and I share. I think if you listen to this station, and you've listened to this show, we've gotten to know each other a little bit over time, you feel me. You at least know that what I'm saying is as authentic as possible, because AI couldn't do this. AI wouldn't want to do it.
Connect with York County's morning show at 324-1220.